I will now call the regular council meeting of the Irmo County Council to order and recognize Councilman Paul Younger, the leaders in the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for bringing us together tonight to discuss town business, and I pray that you just bless us all as we make decisions that hopefully will be for the best interest of all in Irmo. Lord, I pray that you bless our police force and our citizens. In your name we ask. Amen.
Amen.
Next item on the agenda is the reading of the minutes from February the 5th, 2013. Is there a motion for approval as written?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I think she did pretty good with it.
Being none, all in favor of approval of the minutes as written, do so with show of hand. Next item is the administrative briefing. Mr. Brown, do you have anything you need to add to it? Or?
I sent the email out, and I'm sure y'all are aware, Jake, we finally got the easement for Church Street on Friday, and we're working on the contract probably with Ladd Construction tomorrow or Thursday, and as soon as we get Richmond County land disturbance permit back, and we're supposed to have that by Thursday, we'll be able to give the contractor the go-ahead. So it shouldn't be any later than Tuesday of next week.
You can go ahead for the road or go ahead for the whole park? Or
all the clearing, everything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the last permit we're waiting for.
Okay. Yeah. Any questions of the administrator on anything on the briefing? Seeing none, hearing none. Next item would be the receipt of communications. Does anyone have any receipt of communications?
This police report, I noticed a lot of marijuana charges. What's the offense for that? Are these misdemeanors or are these what does it entail?
Misdemeanor, suspension of driver's license and a fine.
Simple possession?
Yes, sir. And that's what most of our charges are.
Is this like is it like a lot of paperwork involved in this then? Or like if I get a whole bunch of these misdemeanors, do I become a habitual offender, or does it escalate itself? Or?
Well, it escalates by the number of times and the amount.
Are any of these repeat offenders doing this? Because I noticed there seems to be a pattern here.
I don't know if they're repeat offenders or not.
No. What's the fine?
$700 some dollars and change.
For like under an ounce or something like that? Or under
28 grams.
28 grams?
How much is that? What's 28 grams? A little bit? A lot?
It's not a lot.
The joint?
No, it's more than that. I don't know how much goes into a joint actually, but it's not a lot really.
What's a lot? What would be?
Well, we recovered 4 pounds out of a car. And
4 pounds?
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I agree.
That's a lot.
You got charged with simple possession?
No, possession with intent to distribute.
For that much, yeah.
That's a felony.
What is simple possession?
Misdemeanor.
Okay.
At what point does it become with intent to distribute? What amount?
Depends on how it's packaged and what the officer can determine based on the way the violator's carrying it. If they have scales, they can charge with intent to distribute. Anything over 28 grams can be distributed. It's based on packaging as well, and the scale that can be considered intent to distribute.
And that becomes felony.
Any other receipt of communication? Next item on the agenda is presentation by citizens for agenda items. If there's anything on the agenda tonight that citizens would like to speak to town council about, this would be the time to do so. Is there anyone here who would like to address the town council on something on the agenda? Seeing none, we have no unfinished business. Next item would be under new business, approval for a drainage easement across Veterans Park. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And second.
Second.
Now, is this for a sewer easement, water easement, or just
Drainage.
It's a drainage, stormwater drainage.
So they're actually going to run a pipe underground for drainage off that property to that creek, I'm assuming, that's back there
Yep.
somewhere.
And then that creek feeds into that pond right there.
Yep.
Oh, so it feeds into the pond next to the
Down by the,
park and next to the neighborhood?
No, the one, it doesn't go to the pond, it goes to the Quail Valley.
Oh, to the Quail Valley, to that creek back there, again? Oh, okay.
They covered up our creek with Palmetto Park.
And I think I read in the briefing that if they do any damage, they'll take care of repairing that and so forth.
yeah, they gotta go into the sidewalk, and I'm not gonna take any trees out, I don't think, but they might
Oh,
have
yeah,
to take
they're
a
gonna
couple
take some
out.
trees out. There'll be some trees come out.
Going around the
Sidewalk,
playground, the workout.
maneuvers around.
But it's underground, is that correct? Or do they dig up, place it, and then cover it?
Dig it up and put it back.
Okay.
This is at the back. How noticeable is it going to be?
Real noticeable.
The front
After
of-
it's finished?
It won't be as bad after it's finished.
What you talking about, Whit? What do you mean it's going to be real noticeable?
But it's right in the middle of the park.
Right in the middle?
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute, I don't want to do that.
The flagpole is in the middle, it's not in the middle, it's about 15 yards based on this map here from the fire hydrant. So if you go down Palmetto, you'll see a fire hydrant on the left just before you get to the Veterans Park. You go about another 15, 20 yards, and that's where they're going across the road.
So it's to the
And
right of
going-
the flagpoles,
This side of the flagpole,
so to the left of the flagpoles,
Before
if you're
you
looking
get-
at it.
You look at the flagpole.
Okay.
before you get there.
Huh.
Yep.
And if we don't give it, then what's the alternative? Or is it one?
Oh, no, we already told them we would.
Oh, okay.
You know, because they're going to, once they get that in, they'll be able to start their development, and with the development comes the gazebo for our park. It's kind of a give or take. But they need that for DHEC requirements for the development of their building back there.
Are those buildings going to remain brown?
I do not know.
Okay.
It's sold.
Huh?
We don't want to.
I'm talking about all in log cabin looking places.
I don't know.
Okay.
But this is for the development behind the Irmo Professional Building, the
Correct.
new one that's
The new-
being built.
Yes.
Bigfoot property.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the other, okay, I'm
Yeah.
looking the wrong way, okay.
But they've got to come down
And what are
here.
those people, who are they?
MSA,
I don't.
MSA?
I think was their name or something like that, I
And
think.
they're going to do some kind of retirement, something or other?
Assisted senior living.
So I can just
Dr.
wheel out
Burns
by my
doing it.
back door and go there and be all right?
You'll be assisted.
Okay. Sounds pretty good.
Any other discussion or questions? All in favor of the approval of the drainage easement across the Veterans Park, do so with show of hand. Next item is the establishment of a town fresh market, and Councilman Walker asked to put that on the agenda, so I'll let him lead off.
I would like to get the council's approval to establish a fresh market on Saturday morning on Carlisle Street. That's between the church and town hall. And I'd like to do it on a small scale, about 20 booths. Set it up so that each vendor will pay basically a Saturday business license of about $25, and they can sell anything they want, anything that's homemade, anything that's anything they grow in their garden or whatever.
We're going to shut off the street? or-
Yeah.
Okay.
Just shut the street off
Okay.
from about 9 until noon
Okay.
on Saturday morning. and promote it as the Irmo Fresh Market, Irmo Town Fresh Market. There's several people that have approached me about it, and unfortunately they couldn't be here tonight, but they have some ideas of some different things they'd like to present to council if council has buy-in.
Are we talking about preserves and
Preserves,
pound
candles, pound cakes, greens,
tomato plants?
tomato plants, anything,
I can get
you know.
into this.
What part of Carlisle are we talking about now?
Right here, is it Carlisle or G. McKay Boulevard?
It's Carlisle, you want,
Okay.
between Columbia and Lexington Avenue.
Yeah, that's Carlisle, right?
Right, okay. How is that going to affect the times that we have weddings in the park?
Well, it's just Saturday morning.
And that's generally when we have weddings, is on Saturday.
And Saturday morning?
They get over there and start
They get
setting
married on
up.
Saturday morning?
Oh, yeah, we got fun.
Really? Wow.
I didn't know.
Yeah. I know that would. I just remember the Okra Strut time when we were talking about, we were over marking things off, you know. Several people came over that was going to have a wedding like the next weekend, and another one that was there 3 weekends. You know, and they were wanting to know how they were going to get in and out and that type thing. So I know that we have quite a few weddings in the park.
And they reserve them as much as a year out.
So what?
They reserve the park as much as a year out.
A year out? Wow. Okay.
Well, could we, if that would be an issue, if there's the issue on Carlisle Street, could we move it to another location? I mean,
What location do we own?
out here,
Out there.
the parking lot out
The
here?
parking lot here? That may be even easier.
We want to establish, we're going to take up fees for, what kind of booth? What's a booth? Is that a tent?
10 by 10 by 10.
Who provides a tent?
They do, the participants.
So it'd be multicolored tents.
Yeah, it's similar to what they do downtown.
They do, yeah, they do it downtown now on Main,
Yeah.
across from his restaurant, as a
Every
matter of
Saturday.
fact. And it has drawn crowds of people because it's fresh grown produce along with preserves, jellies, jams, pound cakes.
You've been there.
I've been there, yeah, and little tomato plant, you can buy tomato plants and all types of little vegetables to start your own, and
Downtown, I just think.
it's in front of the art museum.
Downtown would be, it's not many places you can go buy buy fresh fruit and produce. Closest grocery store is 5 points, so it's got 5 points.
Yeah,
Here we got Kroger, Bilo.
we do, but it tastes different when it comes out of a garden here. It tastes different.
Then the cleanup is going to clean all those up.
They will, won't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, if we get buy-in from council, I will make sure that we have, set up, clean up, take down, all that stuff. But I told them that I'd bring it up. I told folks who were interested in doing it, I'd bring it up to council and see if there's any interest in us doing that. If there is, then we'll go to the next step. I'll make them give us a formal presentation, and then they can come to council meeting, maybe next council meeting in a week after or whatever, to do that. Get themselves together and say, hey, this is what we want to do on Saturday morning from 9 to 12, and this is how we want to do it. But I can envision it to be exactly like it is the one downtown Columbia, because I participated in that one. It's called the Soda City Market. It has vendors from as far away as Beaufort come up here. It sells fresh fish that they catch the day before, and shrimp and scallops and stuff like that, and they actually have different vendors that set up and sell these produce and goods for a reasonable price, not unreasonable, and they pay a $50 fee to have a booth set up. And what I propose is a $25 fee, so we get some of those participants to come here. Instead of me driving all the way to downtown Columbia on Saturday morning, I can just drive down right in my neighborhood.
So we would lease or rent it out to people outside of Irmo.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. You're paying a business license fee, so to speak. It's $25 to have your spot. And we manage it so that we don't have duplications of goods. In other words, you don't have 20 people selling watermelons or 20 people selling peach cobblers. You only have one person selling that particular item, so there's no duplication.
Who's gonna sell peach cobbler?
I don't know, somebody.
When you said they, is that like those people will manage it themselves, that group that's going to make the presentation? Would they be the one kind of managing it, or we as a town be managing it, or will they?
I don't know. I mean, how would y'all, I got to first find out if there's interest in council letting us do that. Let them do that. If there is, then I'd be glad to take this project on as being a town leader and making sure it gets set up right. And like I said, of course, I need help.
Would it be every Saturday or?
It'd be every Saturday.
Okay.
9 to 12.
Okay.
From when to when?
Well, whenever we can start it, I suspect it'll be soon because spring is right around the corner.
But you're not talking about doing it all the way around the year.
At this
Just
point,
like in the spring,
right, just
summer.
spring and the summertime, and then cutting it off in the fall because that's when we start planning anyway. So,
But someone on town staff would have to manage it on Saturday, wouldn't they?
well, somebody from town staff would have to be there to collect the $25, the rental fee or business
So it's
license fee.
$25 a Saturday.
Right.
They couldn't order it or pay for it earlier and get it like a week in advance, or come into a town hall, say the week ahead and get it?
I didn't think about that. I mean, I guess we could if we wanted to. I don't see why not. It's just more paperwork for you guys. I mean, for Kim and those guys.
Or we could go and we could collect it.
Yeah, we're just,
And when the people rent the thing for the wedding, do they use the parking lot here for parking then, or they just park that
All
way?
over the place, down
Anywhere,
there on
everywhere?
Carlisle over here, it just depends how big the wedding is.
The only other thing too, I know our zoning probably has to have some kind of change to it to allow it, because they kind of don't allow it right now. Except, well, I don't know if it's only a Saturday, because it allows it for 30 days, or,
Well, that's, yeah, our zoning is consecutive.
Things that are allowed as a temporary use, like that for your 30-day period. And that's,
but if they only did it one Saturday,
well, the only thing for temporary use, you'd have to change something in there.
in there to make it to where they can do it every
Temporary
Saturday.
use, as far as that, is live plants and like Christmas trees. That's the only, and fireworks stands right now is the only thing as a temporary use that's allowed.
You're thinking about allowing 30 Saturdays.
Yeah, you'd have to have our planning commission look at something to change that to. And I wonder too, as far as, and I know that probably is not a, but that, what is that parking lot where we used to have the Oaks truck, because that's big and it's hardly ever full. But then again, that's private property too, and
Yeah.
they may not, whatever, we don't even know who actually owns that. I don't even know if they know who owns it anymore.
well, the way I envision it, and this is me just thinking out loud, is that I envision it's a precursor to the new park. If it's successful here on Saturday, we can certainly do it at the new park on a regular basis. You know, set up tents, 10 by 10 tents, and have you rent a space for a couple hours. And that, again, this is anticipation of going into the new park, but I just want to start it here just to see how it works out. Try to work out the kinks. In fact, I want to also propose, remember that $4,000 we collected from those video poker machines? I want to use that money for marketing this project. For helping us market this project, if we get approval from council.
A winner from everybody, right?
Exactly.
I don't have a problem with it. I would caution a couple things that just we know from the okra strut, and that is the sale of prepared foods. There's some issues that we have every year with somebody that comes and wants to sell chocolate chip cookies that they baked at home, and DHEC just gets real uptight about those things that are baked or cooked and then put in a plastic bag and tried to sell, you know, there's nothing on there about any ingredients, if peanuts had been used in them, that kind of thing.
Stuff like that.
So they have some definite rules on that.
But didn't Governor Nikki Haley sign some kind of a cabinet rule or some kind of a law that she used to sign that allowed people to bake bread now and sell it to the public?
I'm not able to.
There was something that she signed. I can't remember exactly the name of that law.
They changed the law, and I can't remember exactly, but there used to be a law that if you cooked so many of those cookies and you made so many of them, then you fell under DHEC restaurant and all that.
Right.
And she changed something that said that if you're working at home and you do that up to, I'll say X amount of dollars a year up to, then you don't have to follow the DHEC guidelines.
So I understand exactly what you're saying, and hopefully we'll attract not so many people trying to bake little cookies, but we'll attract the fish guy from Buford to come up here on Saturday and sell.
I think that's totally different than somebody that does jams or something in their kitchen and then brings it and sells it, and somebody gets it, and it. Hopefully, how it's prepared.
I buy a lot of those. Thus far, I've never had a problem. But
Mr. Rawls, with the collard greens, he's got acres of collard greens in Lexington. Bring half a truckload over here, something greens, and on Saturday morning. I don't
have a problem with that. I look at your peach cobbler.
Yeah.
They can look back at Max on Main. Has a business license, is inspected by DHEC.
Yeah.
But Billy Bob from wherever, South Carolina, that comes in here and decides he wants to do apple pies.
Yeah.
And nobody knows what the condition of his kitchen was or that type of thing, and somebody gets sick, they're going to look back at us. But if DHEC has checked that box and said, okay, then you don't have it kind of goes back to them.
Yeah, I got you.
But
in Lexington too, didn't they just start one this year or last year? Well, I guess it was last year. You might be able to check with them and see how they do, because they started, I don't know if it's every Saturday or once a month or what it is, but it's something. And even the people that do yours downtown, I don't know if you can get.
We have one that comes to DHEC's parking lot every Thursday. And it's called the Farmers Market. They set up under one of our picnic sheds, and he's there from like 8 till noon.
Are they inspected by DHEC?
Yes, they are.
Are they? Okay, just checking.
And they go out and check his scales because he sells stuff by the pound. But,
and then we can, I guess, have our planning consultant look at it and see what we need to do to. If we need to change anything, I don't know, because we may need to allow it. Where right now, I think part of it we don't allow.
We've got to adopt something for this.
So how about if we put this on the next agenda for an action item then? Would that be all right with council? And I'll have them make
The commission won't have their meeting
Till third week in
till
March.
third Monday in March.
Right.
Okay, so
It'll be on
it'll be
March
after, not the next meeting, but the meeting after that?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
That's fine with council, and I'd like to put that as an
That'll give
action
you
item
time
on the
to
next
get with Lexington and the City of
week
Columbia.
after council meeting.
So is that City of Columbia that does that downtown, or is that one of those other groups?
It's a private group that does it, through the city of Columbia,
You might get that group, find out what.
Kind of permanent.
what he said, he wants to undercut the City of Columbia, get them up here.
Maybe you want to consider a Saturday each month, just to get it off on the ground, just so it can be heavily promoted each few weeks before it happens.
Sure.
Or every other Saturday or something.
Like I said,
Twice a month.
I'd rather for you to see the full presentation from the folks that are interested in working in this thing. And they'll be here not the next council meeting, but the council meeting after that. And for us to give us a presentation, and we can take an action item on making an action item at that time.
Okay.
But I agree there's some issues that we need to work through. But also, I think it'd be a good service to the town of Irmo and the residents out here. Instead of them having to drive down to downtown Columbia on Saturday morning, they can drive right here and enjoy some coffee or something. Have a guy set up coffee booths and hot chocolate or whatever.
And, make sure it doesn't conflict a schedule at the park.
Yeah.
Next item on the agenda is discussion for naming of the Newtown Park, and looks like staff put that on there. I don't know if you want to bring it up, or does anybody want to jump in there?
Well, we just put it on there because we need to get a name for the park,
Okay.
for marketing purposes and all the other.
Park.
What about Newtown Park?
No, let's not use Newtown.
Newtown, I mean, the Newtown.
And I mean, I don't know either, we can all come up with stuff, but it's on Church Street. Of course, it's on Church Street and ECU. I didn't even thought about just calling it Church Street Park because it was on that road, but I don't know either. We can just submit names to Bob and have a drawing one day, or ration them out. I mean, whatever you call it, eliminate them out. You get too many not
We've
good
got
ones.
the option with the schools too. I mean, we could get them involved if you want. I mean, I just need to know
Well,
what
we've already
council.
got an Irmo Town Park,
That's correct.
and I don't really like Irmo Town Park 2. And there's an obvious answer. We could name it Orchestra Park, but does that limit its capabilities in some people's minds? That it's just, because it's not just for that. I don't know. I've thought about it and I can't come up with anything.
Do we have to name it now? I mean, can we just put that as an item we think about?
Bob wants to name it.
Well, we probably need to have it named by a certain date when we got to order a sign. If we order a sign or
Right.
entry, whatever you call it, thing. I agree with Kathy too. The only thing about the Oak Strut Park is if a lot of people are gonna, I don't say think of it as
Yeah. just
another
for
park or Park 2 or whatever you want to call it, then they're gonna precondition their thinking around that. I don't know if that's a safe bet either.
Or Okra Park, Okra.
that.
Grows in Irmo.
Well, I'm trying to think of words almost synonymous with Irmo, and the okra is the only one that comes up.
That's right, it's on every one of our signs.
And it's on all the signs, yeah.
Ancient Hermes, of course, that's too long.
And I had received an email, y'all may have too, from somebody that, I think it was the guy on the road you just mentioned, Gene McKay, about naming it McKay Park or Gene McKay Park, but again, I don't know if you name it after someone as opposed to something.
But he's not giving us any money.
Yeah, well, and even, I didn't talk about the previous owner's name.
Gives us a
Some of
big
the
enough
families,
amount of money.
some of
I
the
think we
families that
name
owned
after
it,
them.
owned it in the past, but I don't know if there's one particular family that's owned it for a long time. It's been through a couple, and they might have been related from one name to a family member and all that, but
That's a good idea.
We might have to pay him if we use his name. Have y'all thought about that? I'm not into paying anybody.
So you want us to do some recommendations and fire you some emails?
Yeah, I just need some idea what direction y'all want to take. And
How about people, please have somebody call me with some ideas. I don't have any ideas.
Yes, Sharice needs to give us some
or
ideas.
if somebody does give a contribution of a large amount, then
We're gonna name it after them.
name it after, them, or maybe
Or we
something
could name
like
it
that.
Irmo Community Park, or, there are other things we could use. But Sharice could put it in the patch, and we'd have all kind of ideas.
Al can put it in the Irmo News.
Al could put it in the Irmo News, and we get good ideas. And they just happen to be sitting here. How convenient.
that'll be fine. That'll
Okay.
generate something, I hope.
Alrighty, next item is presentation by citizens, and this is where anyone would want to speak to us on anything, whether it's on the agenda or not on the agenda. Is there anyone who would like to address the town council? All we ask is you come to the podium and just give us your name and address for the record.
Hi, I'm Denise Wilkinson. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Palmetto Lifeline. We are the not-for-profit that has the new Adoption, Medical, and Education Center on Bower Parkway. And we also provide a service to the community through the Caravan. We offer low-cost vaccinations to pets that belong to families in South Carolina. We operate in 33 counties in South Carolina. And a few weeks ago, we did receive an abatement notice. We have permission to offer our clinics at the corner pantries. The owner of the corner pantry gave us permission to locate on his property to offer the service, and we did receive an abatement notice. And then we were told that we needed a zoning permit, and so we were taking care of those logistics. And then today we received an email that says the Caravan operates under a temporary use, and our municipal codes do not allow this type of use. And so I spoke with Mr. Jake Moore, and he just asked that I come tonight and ask if y'all would consider, since we are not-for-profit, we are offering this service to the community, that you might allow us to continue to do this without a zoning permit.
What is the name of the group again?
Palmetto Lifeline?
Against stray dogs.
We,
Bower Parkway.
yeah, we just opened up a 27,000 square foot adoption.
Shelter.
Big medical clinic and education center.
Right.
We're just a little bit proud. We're partnered with Lexington and Richland counties.
And if I understand, you were going to set up, or you did set up at whatever one of these corner pantries are.
On the one where we received the notice, we were at the corner pantry of Coon Road and Broad River Road.
Oh, okay, the big.
Yeah, and we're there once a month. Some locations, we're at the events once a week, every week, and others it's once a month, depending on how many individuals show up to use our
I
service.
thought you were doing like rabies shots or something.
Absolutely. Yes, for $8 to $10, a very affordable rate. A lot of people cannot afford to go to a private clinic and pay $100 to see, for the exam and the vaccinations. Our vet is on the van, administering the shots, and we just charge for the vaccination, no exam fee or anything like that.
And so you got an abatement notice that said you can't do this.
Right, at first
And
it
then
said
you
excuse me.
had to meet zoning too, I think, is it?
Yeah, it said first we needed a business license, then they found out we didn't need a business license, then they came back and said we needed a zoning permit, so we thought we were going to take care of that. We sent a check in, and then they said our municipal codes do not allow this type of use under a temporary use.
General commercial?
Okay, how do we get around it?
Change the ordinance.
Well, this is a non-profit organization that renders a very effective service that is needed.
We've turned down other veterinarians too that do the same thing. We've had to turn them down because of the ordinance.
Well, we shouldn't.
Well, we want to be consistent.
Yeah.
Well, then we ought to be consistent and do. Think about the dogs.
Do
Okay,
y'all
just
have a copy of what she's...
But I've seen this around town, though. I mean, other
What we
places.
have to do as far as changing
Tell me.
it.
What was doing.
Well, we thought they needed zoning because we thought they were going to be a permanent location
because
there all the
last
time.
week
Then
there
we
was
found out
a
they were
rabid raccoon in Hill
moving around,
Creek. They like to have
bouncing,
never
all
gotten rid
over
of this
town
thing.
to different commercial businesses,
We don't
and
need
that's where
rabies.
it's not allowed.
And I think Ms.
Fans
Moore
come
thought
in.
since we were not-for-profit, you might make an exception.
Well, we can contact or communicate with Mr. Brown here and kind of figure out. The only thing, too, I would say, and I'm not speaking on behalf of council or attorney because I don't know 100%, but if we have a local veterinarian office that was doing the same thing and we told them no, then we would open up some doors. If we turn around and tell somebody else, yes. I think we just have to look at that guideline and figure out how can we change it for everybody.
Hospital
If we
was
want
there.
to, yeah.
That's Well Pets. I'm one of the owners. Yeah.
He used to do the same thing over at BB&T.
Yeah.
In the parking lot.
That's what I'm
That
thinking.
was a long time ago. But we had this issue last year, maybe even a couple years ago, where there was somebody, like there was a veterinarian that did it. at
Dr.
low-
Gist, I think.
That's
Yes,
right.
and
He's the for-profit out of Greenville.
But because based on the ordinance, it wasn't nonprofit or whatever, the same thing.
Maybe we ought to revisit the ordinance.
Would you be okay with just nonprofit then, or you think better?
No, not for profit. I mean, we are all about just providing affordable services through Palmetto Lifeline. And as far as the for-profit side, I don't mind competition in serving the poor and those that are in need, so.
Well, we try to keep our, business with
Oh, I
our
know.
town businesses. We have an obligation to them because they pay taxes.
Right. We would appreciate your consideration.
We will. What we can do is get you to send it out to us. We can kind of look at it, and then we can determine if we want
Yeah, I
to put it
think
on the
so.
agenda and change the ordinance, or leave it, or what, or kind of go from there. But we will. We'll take a look.
Do we need to do anything else? Provide any additional information about this service to y'all, or I was just asked to come over tonight and,
Would
If you ever prepare a package, you could always send it to us. If you
Okay.
have something that's got the whole outline of what you do.
okay,
I've just heard bits and pieces,
all right,
so.
okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Anyone else? Seeing none, is there a need for executive session? None known?
Not that I know of.
Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Is this a record?
This is a record.
A record?
A record.